Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this afternoon's webinar. It's May the 13th and it's 2 p.m. British summertime. So I hope everybody's doing okay in the lockdown. I know that some of the lockdown issues have been eased a little bit starting from today. But in today's webinar, what I'm going to cover is I'm going to cover off how I create a trading strategy using Tekton. Now, as you're aware, Tekton algo trading software is a way of creating automatic trading strategies that will allow you to go in and out of the marketplace automatically using Tekton. So it's a very simple code-free algo trading platform that you can use to create strategies that will take away all of the emotional attachments and the need to sit there trading day in, day out. Now, I'm aware we've got some people watching this that are falling into various different categories. So the first category I know we have are complete beginners. So if you are a complete beginner as a trader, then you're going to get a useful, valuable insight into how Tekton can help you with trading moving forward. But obviously, I would then refer you to the Trading for Beginners workshop that we are going to be releasing very, very soon, that you can actually have a look at and learn the basics. I'm also aware that we have people watching that are existing traders, so welcome wherever you are in the world, and existing traders that may be somebody who's actually trading automatically at the moment, using algos, using robots, but finding you're spending money on the robots and algos or EAs with MT4, and it's cumbersome, it's costly, and it takes time for them to then come back with those algos if you've had them coded by somebody else, and then you've got to plug them into MT4, etc. So if that's you and you are somebody who trades algorithmically at the moment, this is really the webinar. You're going to really learn how to use Tekton properly and how to use Tekton on a continual basis. We may have people here that are trading as well, been trading for a while. And again, you may find that your trading's not so brilliant at the moment, and you want to try to start getting into algo trading because you want to take the emotional attachment away and start to then enjoy the rest of your life. So there's various different reasons why people come to us. I will refer you to our education. I will refer you to our courses that are on our forum. And our forum, I'll put a link up with the forum details later when we actually publish this webinar in the next 24 hours or so. But the session today is very informative. It's going to be all about how you can create a strategy from conception through the think it, build it, test it, and trade it scenarios that you've seen on our forum. If you haven't seen it on our forum, I strongly suggest you get onto our Tekton community and look at that. The best way to me to do this is I'm going to start the workshop in a moment. I'm just giving a few more people to attend. I see people are joining all the time, and the chat function is on. But what I would suggest is the chat function. If you have a question, please type it throughout the workshop as it comes to you. And then what I'll do at the end of the 40 minutes or so, once I've gone through everything, rather than starting, I'll go through the whole webinar and then we'll answer any questions at the end, but we can always refer back if we need to. So I'll just wait another moment or two for any newcomers that are coming, and then we'll get started. But today should be a very informative webinar, and hope that you get a lot of valuable insight in how you can use Tekton. We've got a lot of people, that come to us and say, I want to use your builder, but they get so far and then don't go the next level. So if you are somebody that, for example, is unsure of how to create a strategy, or you see something on a trading chart, but you don't know how to compute that into a Tekton code, algorithmic code, then send me a live chat. Send us a live chat, and we'd be more than happy to then start to talk to you live and help you. In fact, we had one situation this morning where somebody asked me, how can I create a Tekton algo strategy out of this scenario? And I'm going to cover that off on a next webinar, exactly how I was posed the question and then how I created that into an algo that actually made money when we tested it. So I'll show you that on the subsequent webinar, because this one's already prepared. But there's lots of good information to come in the future, lots of valuable insight, and let's get cracking. We've got a few more people joined now, so we've got some people from all over the world today, which is really good. Africa, Australia, early hours of the morning there. Surprised you haven't complained that we're doing them at the wrong times for you. So let's get cracking without further ado, and we'll go from there. So today I'm going to show you how I would create a trading strategy using Tekton. In this today's workshop, I'm going to show you how I would sit down and look at the charting, and then how I would create it, and then get it tested, and so you can replicate exactly how I would do this work yourself. So one quick word before we start, and that's very simple, is Tekton is not about copying, although we are going to have a copy feature at some point in the future. Tekton is about creation. It's about taking ownership of your trading business and creating strategies. Creating strategies once you know what you're doing and how you're looking for them and how you're creating them. And Tekton is a personal, if you like, it's your personal quant. It's your own pocket quant to enable you to create your own trading strategies. Now, in the past, I've created strategies and people have said to me, oh, can I take your strategy off of you? And I've given them a copy of it, and I then monitor it moving forward, and I'm not happy about the way it performs, so I then stop it. And then I hear people have said to me, oh, well, I've lost money. Now, the reason that is because my strategy that I created may work for a period, and then again it might then slope off, in which case I'm then going to jump on it and then look at what needs to be adapted to change that in the future. So the word of advice I want to give you is, although I'm creating trading strategies in front of you today, please take them, but adapt them. Use them for your own business. Create your own versions of them. Create your own versions of strategies that don't exist yet. Use Tekton for what it was created for. It wasn't actually created to copy, it was created for creation, and for anybody to create a trading strategy. I hope that makes sense. So, in this section today, I'm going to show you how I, first of all, think it. My first point of call is thinking it. Over the years, I've got experience of, lots of years of experience of trading, and I always have ideas in my head of trading strategies. But I'm going to show you how I did it in the early days, how I look at a chart and how I think a strategy and create that blueprint for the strategy. I'm also going to show you how I build it, how I actually build the strategy or strategies exactly as I would normally. I'm also going to show you how I test it, how I run a back test on the strategies I'm talking about, how I edit the strategies. So this is if I'm not happy about the test results, or I want to change the time frame, or change the settings of the strategy, or change the instrument. Edit is such a useful function. Get used to using it, because if you use it, properly, you can change strategies that you've seen and then adapt them for future use, and maybe get even a stronger result. And the final thing is trade it. Set the strategies to run live using the start trading function. So, think it. What kind of strategy do I want? Do I want a trending strategy? Do I want one which is going to be a trending strategy, which is going to take positions in the market when the markets are moving strong in one direction or the other? Which indicators do I need to fulfill that? Do I want a sideways market? I'll need different indicators if that is the case. So for trending markets, I'm going to need a certain type of indicator. For sideways markets, I'm going to need another type of indicator. And if you look at our indicators videos on the Tekton community, all of the indicators are there, show you what purposes they are used for. Get used to using them. Get used to finding out what they do. I'm going to show you today how I do it. Which time frame? What time frame do you want to use for your trading strategy? Do you want it to be something that goes in and out of the market, or do you want it to be something that runs for a long time? Now here's a little bit of advice again. If you're running Tekton as a business, have 2 or 3 different types of strategies. Run some for longer term, some also short term, so they're going in and out of the market. Some of the trading strategies I use trade up to 6 or 7 times a day. Some of them take 3 or 4 days to get to target. So work out what time frame you want to trade. And again, jump on some of our workshops on the forum and the community. There's lots of information on there to help you. Which instrument? Now you all know that I favor euro, a euro dollar, euro yen, etc. But you know what? What instrument would work best for the strategy you've created? It doesn't matter. Jump on different instruments. Using the edit facility, you can test your strategy that you've created on a wide variety of instruments, including commodities, including other instruments as well. So is it FX? Is it commodities, etc.? You've got a whole host of currency pairs. Do you want your strategy to be simple or complex? What I mean by that is, do you want to just use one indicator or a series of them? If you want to use one indicator, fantastic. If you want to add another indicator, say you want to use a moving average cross and add a stochastic on there as well, just to get a bit of confirmation, then you know that that's going to take slightly longer to build and slightly longer to backtest. It's entirely up to you. Today I'm going to show you how you can use 1 or 2. Let's take a look at this on the charts. So the first thing I'm going to do in order to create a strategy is get an idea as to the sort of ballpark I want to be playing in. So for example, if I want to use moving averages, or if I want to use Bollinger Bands, or if I want to use a oscillator indicator. So those of you that are familiar with oscillators, you'll know that oscillators sit underneath price and Bollinger Bands and moving averages sit over the top of price. So the first thing I want to establish is, do I want to trade a sideways strategy, or do I want to trade a strategy that uses trending markets moving in certain directions? So the think it part of the strategy is very simple, and for this one I'm going to use a trending strategy. So it's a trending strategy that allows me to capture moves in the marketplace like that and like that, okay? Not that, because if we were trading that across the top, we'd be looking to sell the top, buy here, sell the top and buy here, and so on. So I need to establish the area in which I'm talking about. So for example, if I want to use a moving average cross, for example, let's say a 50 crosses to 200, which is the one we've all seen. Do I want to buy when there's a golden cross, which is the 50 crossing above the 200, or do I want to sell when the 50 crosses below the 200, which is the death cross? So what I want to do first of all is I'm going to plot the moving averages on there. Now the first thing I need to do is auto X-station, because at the moment I'm moving it around and it's moving back to its traditional position. We're on a daily time frame, so another thing we need to be considering is what time frame we want to trade. So the think it part of it is probably and pretty much the most complicated part of it, and the time consuming part of it. The creating the strategy, the build it, the test it, etc. is the easy parts. So let's drop it down to say a 30-minute time frame. We're looking at euro dollar. I always start on euro dollar because it's probably the most widest currency pair traded anywhere in the world, around probably a little bit ahead of cable and euro pound as well. So euro dollar on a 30-minute time frame. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plot a moving average. Okay, I'm going to plot the moving average here, and I'm going to simply type in EMA. I use an EMA more than anything, and I'm going to put on a 100 EMA. Color it white. And that's it. I'm done. So the 100 moving average is measuring the average of the last 100 candles. Simple as that. Now I can now add another one, and the reason I'm adding another one is to get some clarity, to get some comparison. So I add this, for example, and I'm now going to add, say for example, a 50. So I'm adding a faster moving average. I'll colour that bright green, and now we can see we've got a faster moving average. Okay, as you can see, when the fast crosses the slow, we get some moves to the downside. When the fast crosses above, we get some moves to the upside. Now I'm not saying it's going to work every time, but this is how I create my strategy. I've thought about it, and I'm going to use the moving average. Now what I can also do on here is I can plot an oscillator. So I can add a stochastic, for example, and a stochastic oscillator fits underneath price, and that sits under here, and is an added confirmation of price when it moves. So for example, let's look at this here. So if I see one here crossing, at the same time I want price to be sort of in an oversold position down the bottom here, because remember the stochastic is measuring oversold and overbought markets at the top. So basically this is an overbought position, which means normally price is going to fall, and this is an oversold position where markets are likely to start to increase. Now those of you that are watching that have very limited trading experience, I cover this on our Trading for Beginners workshop, which is available very soon for you to watch on our courses area of Tekton. So we've got our moving average cross in place. We could use a stochastic as well as, or instead as, or as well as. You know, at the end of the day, we can use whatever we want in our strategy. So for this example, I'm just showing you how I develop it and how I can later maybe adapt it once I've created the algorithm for it. So that's the strategy. That's how I would think about a strategy. For example, if I want to try another one, let's just remove that and show you how I would add a Bollinger Band. Let's remove the stochastic. So let's add the Bollinger Bands on. So if I want to use Bollinger Bands for a sideways market, Bollinger Bands, standard settings 20, standard deviations 2, and we can use 200 period and 3, but for this standard settings I'm going to use 20 and 2, and I'm going to now look at the Bollinger Band setting. So the Bollinger Band strategy can be very simple. We're looking to buy and sell the top band, so we're looking to buy the bottom band and sell the top band, but only in a sideways market. Okay, we don't want to be selling and buying bottom bands here, for example, when the market is falling. That's the last thing we want to do. So we need to have some sort of filtration to prevent us from taking buying trades here. And we can do that by adding another oscillator. And again, this strategy that I'm writing now has a presence on our forum, and you can use this one on our forum. It's called an ADX. So I'm now using an ADX 14 period, and I'm now saying that we want to use the ADX for when the market is sideways. So if you notice, and let me just edit the ADX here, we edit it by clicking here. I want to change the edit ADX line to that, and I don't want to use these other lines. Okay, I don't want to use these other lines at all. I'm just using the white ADX line. And an ADX is very simple. When the market is sideways like so, the white line is very low in the graph. In fact, it's below 1520. When the market is trending strongly in either a downwards direction or an upwards direction, the ADX line increases. So what I can do is I can use that knowledge in my strategy. So I could safely say that when the Bollinger Bands are set up and when price touches the bottom band, but when the ADX line is also underneath a certain number, say 20, that is going to control the trades being taken only in a sideways market, and then will prevent all of this from being a buying trade because the ADX line, as you can see, is quite high. Now I'm sure that some of you may not follow that, but I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by just plotting this out on a PowerPoint slide so you can see it, and then we'll actually get the thing built. Okay, so now we have got our blueprint for our strategy. We're now going to build it. We have two strategies to build, which we looked at in our blueprint section when we were using ThinkIt. We have a trending market strategy and a sideways market strategy. And you can create any type of strategy. They're not fixed. This is the whole beautiful thing about Tekton, is it's designed for you to create what you want to create. To save time, I'm going to show you how I'm going to build the trending market strategy we discussed in the ThinkIt section. Now remember the rules from our blueprint. We created the rules, but of course your rules can be edited as many times as you want. We just want to get a steer in the direction we want to trade and a steer as to the makeup of the strategy. And the rules we used were very simple. We used the 50 EMA, the exponential moving average, and when it crosses above the 100 EMA, we were going to buy. The 50 EMA, when it crosses below the 100 EMA, we were going to sell. Now remember, we can edit any of these settings later once we've created the strategy. I'm going to show you how to do that shortly. So the 50 crosses above the 100, the 50 crosses below the 100, and the time frame was Euro US dollar on the 30-minute. Any of the above settings can be edited very simply. I'll show you how. If we want to, we can add a stochastic, and again I'll show you how you can do that as well. So if you want to add a stochastic as well, just to give a bit more added confirmation, remember it takes longer slightly, but it also takes longer to backtest slightly. The more conditions you have, the more indicators you use, the longer it will take to backtest. We can try various take profit and stop loss. So this is where you put in your take profit level in pips and your stop loss in pips for each trade your strategy is going to take. But experiment, guys. I'm not going to tell you what to put. I'm going to use 20 and 60, for example, or 25 and 65. But please experiment. Use different settings. Use 30 and 30. Use 40 and 80. Whatever you want. Experiment. Let's do this now. So this is how we're going to build our strategy using Tekton. We've already created the blueprint of our strategy. We know we're using an EMA cross, and we're also going to show you how to add a stochastic in if we need to. But let's now show you how we build that, so you can then replicate this exactly for yourself for the strategies that you are creating using your version of Tekton. It's the same process you do. So we log in using our login details. Up comes the standard disclaimer warning, and away we go. So we can see some strategies already running in my account. When you get your new one, you'll have a completely empty screen here. So the first thing I'm going to do is create new strategy. This is where we start to create. So up comes the standard algorithmic trading strategy window. Currency pair sets at default to euro dollar. We are going to use euro dollar, and we're going to use the 30-minute time frame. And we simply just drop down the menu there. It's very simple. We're going to put our stop loss and take profit in. Now, as I said to you, this is completely flexible. I'm going to use 20, and I'm going to use 50 as my take profit. So it's just over 2.5 reward to risk. For creation purposes, for testing, I'm going to leave 5,000 and 5,000 set as this. This is the drawdown for the strategy and the take profit for the strategy. And I'm going to leave it at 1 CFD. That, as far as I'm concerned, is the risk settings taken place. If you're using this live, on a live account, then you're going to need to refer back to our risk management section on the video, and one I will cover in great detail on another webinar on what you need to put into the CFD trade sizing box, but I'm going to cover that on another webinar. Now comes the great bit, adding the algorithm. So let's create the algorithm. Click Add Algorithm, and up comes this menu here. So for those of you who've never done this, it's as simple as that. For those of you that have done this, you'll know exactly what I'm doing. And if you're brand new to trading, don't worry. This is what you're going to have the ability to go on and use moving forward. Get yourself, educated, get yourself up to speed with what you need to do, and you can really use Tekton to the fullest features available. So the first thing is the word if is pre-populated. Notice the word if is pre-populated. So we want to get to a moving average cross. So we simply click the indicator. Notice the indicator icon here is exactly the same as the indicator icon on Tekton Trader, the charting software. It couldn't be simpler. We click there and we choose from our drop down menu moving average. We start to type the word and up comes moving average there. We click now here the period 50 and we make sure it's set to EMA and click apply. Now you can see our algorithm is starting to take shape. So we've now got if moving average 50, we use the compare function to create the movement, create the action if you like. Or we can use arithmetic. This would be used for putting numbers in. So if we want to use specific pip numbers, we can. So we're going to use compare, and we have all of these, if you like, functions, control functions that we can tell whether we want it less than, more than or equal to, etc., etc., etc. For this one, we're going to use crosses above. So when the moving average crosses above, or if the moving average crosses above, now we need to put the 100 EMA in. So we put the 100 moving average in, exactly the same process as before. Apply. Now we have two options. We can either create the buy and sell, or if we wanted to add a stochastic here, we could click here and click AND. Now if we clicked AND here, and I won't actually do it, up will come the ability to add another indicator here. If you wanted to use OR, you could have two potential scenarios and the Tekton will choose whichever one of those scenarios sets up. For example, if moving average 50 crosses above moving average 100, or moving average 200 crosses 500. You could have two conditions there, and Tekton will choose to trade when one of them sets up because you've used the word OR. But for this example, I'm not going to add a stochastic, but that's how you would add it. The action button, click, and we have buy. Now you can also use in Tekton a close sell and a close buy. So you can actually tell Tekton to close your trade for a condition as well. Now you notice we earlier put the 20 and 60 pips of stop loss and take profit, but here what I've done is I'm just going to use buy. But you can use a close buy or a close sell function to close your trades as well. So the opposite condition for buy, when the 50 moving average crosses below, for example, you could close your buy. Tekton's that intuitive. It will do what you want it to do. Click buy, click confirm, and that's created our buy condition. Now all we need to do is create our sell condition, and we do that exactly the same way. Add algorithm. If moving average 50, apply, crosses below, so we use the compare function again, crosses below the moving average 100. So we populated 10, so we just add a 0 on there. EMA, apply, and the action is to sell. And that has now confirmed our algorithm. Okay, our algorithm. I'll worry about editing later on another section, but that has created the buy condition and the sell condition for our algorithm for the moving average cross, and I've showed you also how you can add a stochastic in there if you need to, or any other indicator too. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about testing our strategy. We've thought about it, we've created a blueprint, we then built the strategy, and we showed the possibility of adding other indicators to it. Now, let's talk about testing. Backtesting. Many types of backtesting out there. Backtesting engines I've seen can sometimes take 3, 4, 5 hours to trade just one day's worth of trades, and really just takes so long to do. Backtesting with Tekton could never be easier. It is really simple to do and lightning quick. Once you have built your algorithmic trading strategy, you are able to test it. It will give you an idea as to how your strategy would have performed over past data. Now, we have data on most instruments going back to up to 3 years. Now, the idea of testing is not to guarantee future performance, but to give you an idea of past performance had your strategy been running during that time. There are certain factors that it won't include. However, we have back-tested strategies that we have run live and then back-tested them at the end of the live trading period, and usually we're around 95 to 98% accurate. So it gives you a fantastically accurate steer as to how successful your trading strategy that you've just created algorithmically would have performed over past data. When you're backtesting with Tekton, you can test over all available data back to January 2017 on most instruments. Some of them we have less data, or test precisely the date range you want to test, again providing it falls into the data range we have. So if you want to test one specific day or 1 week or 1 month or 1 year or a series of weeks, a series of days, whatever it is, you use the calendar to choose the date range you want to test. It couldn't be simpler. Once you've done that, you press the Run Test button, and you can watch the results come in on your profit and loss chart. So every backtest will give you at the end a complete profit and loss chart on the growth of the account or the reduction of the account if it's a negative result for the test duration. And usually when you're backtesting, you'll be able to see this chart being compiled to see how your test would have performed in real time. The test will be complete once the button shows below your chart with the word trades on it, because that button shows you the trades that it would have taken for the backtest. So although while you're testing it shows you the profit and loss, once you have completed your test, you are able to go back and look over all of them if you want to, the trades it would have taken, including the price level it got in, where it got out, the date stamp, the time stamp, etc., etc. Let's do this together now. Okay, so now we've built the strategy. We have the buyer and sell conditions here. We've named everything here on the risk settings. We've got the euro dollar 30-minute time frame. We've got everything else set, which we did earlier. I've now saved the strategy and renamed it. Clicked here and it's actually named it euro dollar EMA cross, and we use that function there. Now it's about testing it. I click the Run Test button, and I then decide which data I want to test over. I want to test over all data. I don't want to test over specific periods. I want to test over all data. And what I do is I simply click the Run Test button. Once I've done that, I can scroll down and I can see the data of the test result coming through in real time as those trades were taken. Now, most backtesting engines will take anything from about 2 or 3 hours or more to do 1 day worth of trading data. This has already done 4 months, as you can see at the bottom. So what we'll do is we'll come back in a moment once it's actually completed the whole back test, but as you can see it's done 6 months already, and we'll come back in a moment and view the end of the result. So the back testing result will be in shortly. We're now up to 2019 July. So we have around about 10, 11 months of data to go, and it's actually taking around about 5 to 10 seconds per month at the moment, so which is pretty quick. So once we get the result in a moment, you'll be able to see. Now at the moment what it's giving us is a result in real time. So the P&L is rolling, the total number of trades is rolling, and we have the positive number of pips and the negative number of pips. So it's actually taken 5350 or 5,400 pips of profit, and it's actually lost 3,880 pips, which again is rolling. And how many winning trades and how many losing trades it's taken. So we're up to almost the end of 2019 now. And if we scroll up a little bit, we can see that we've got a 2.5 to 1 reward to risk. What that basically means, for those of you that don't know, is that we need 2.5 losing trades to wipe out 1 winning trade. So that's a really strong positive reward to risk. More on that on another webinar when I talk about risk management and reward management. So the trades button has arrived. We've got a result. And for the duration of the back test, it generated 1,560 pips of profit, which is great. If that's £10 a pip on average, one CFD there, which is approximately, probably around about 9-10 euros a pip. That's a lot of positive news coming from that strategy. It's a good 15,000 euros profit in that time period. One strategy, one currency pair, and one setup. So that's automated as well, remember. So just to scroll down, you can see now we've got our trades button. And our trades button goes through all of the trades it would have taken. So as you can see, winner, loser, winner, loser, 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 winner, loser, loser, and so on. Next page, we had a winner, another winner, another winner, and there's the date stamp and the open time, close time, and the open price and close price. So yeah, we've done all our checking. We've checked this against real charts. You can do so if you wish, but that's really how your back test is carried out using Tekton. Now you can actually use history of all tests. History of all tests keeps a documented list of all the tests you would have done and the time that you took that you actually did those tests. So once you can do other tests, it will keep a dossier of all of the tests that you've actually ran on that particular strategy. Okay, we're now going to show you the edit function. So you've now thought about a strategy, you've created a blueprint, you've now built it, you've tested it, and the results have come in, and they're either really good and you want to see if they can be any better, or they're not so good and you want to see if they can be better, or you want just to compare some other settings before you decide to run live later. So let me show you the edit function. Editing. Tekton has a superb edit function. Once you have tested your algorithmic strategy, you are able to edit it. It will give you the ability to edit the settings to retest to compare results. So you may have tested on one currency pair and you want to test on others. You may have tested one time frame, you want to test on others. But basically with testing, testing can give you one result based on one pair, one time frame and one setting. Editing gives you the ability to retest without rebuilding the strategy on other settings. You are able to edit various parts of the algorithm itself, the time frame you are testing, the instrument being tested, which means currency pairs, indices, commodities, etc. You can test on other instruments quite easily. The risk management settings can also be edited as well before retesting. Once you have edited, you can then retest and compare the results like for like. Let me show you how to edit using Tekton now. Okay, so editing with Tekton. You've now back tested your strategy and you want to make some changes so you can retest. The first thing I'll show you is how to edit the strategy itself. Let's say you want to change this from a 50 moving average cross to a 200 moving average cross. You use the edit function. The edit function here. Click edit and it opens up the algorithmic string, which is the line that you want to work on. So all you do is use the step forward, step back functions. Step forward and step back to move your red area to the area you want to change. So here we want to change the moving average 100 EMA to a 200 moving average. So we click moving average, type it in, and change the settings here to 200. Make sure it's an EMA. Okay, click apply, click update, click confirm, and that's changed your algorithm 50 EMA to a 200 EMA. It now says buy still, but you've edited that part of your algorithm. Another really useful feature. And the reason why we've added that is so you don't have to rewrite the whole strategy. Let's now do the same for the sell. Move back, moving average, change that to 200, EMA, click update, click confirm, and that's now changed the 100 EMA to the 200. To change the stop loss and take profit couldn't be easier. If you want to change this to say 25 and change this to say 65, it's as simple as that. That's how you would edit your risk settings. You can also change your currency pairs or your instruments you're trading by using this wide range drop down menu to whatever you want. So let's say you want to now trade, instead of euro dollar, you want to test on euro pound. That changes there, and let's say you want to change that to a 5-minute time frame. So you're now testing a new algorithm, new settings, new instrument, new time frame, and all you've got to do then is simply run that test as you did before and click run, and it will test your strategy on the new settings. Could not be simpler. So once you've created your strategy in your mind and a blueprint, and you've built it and you've tested it and you've edited it where you need to, and you're happy with the results, you can now set it to run live. This is the only part that really makes a difference. Purely and simply because you can have the greatest strategy in the world. You could have tested it, it's fantastic results, or you've edited it to get you even better results. But if you don't set it to run live or start trading, it will never do anything for you. So you have to start trading. Otherwise it's a pointless exercise. So Tekton will place trades for you into the market with full risk management based on your own criteria, on your own settings. Once you have tested and are satisfied with your results, you can set your algorithmic strategy to run live in the marketplace. Every time your conditions are met that you created in your algorithm, Tekton will send a signal to your broker and the trade will place in an instant. This will include stop loss and take profit. Now the trades will be placed at the beginning of the following candle. So if it's a moving average cross on a 15-minute, it must wait for the 15-minute candle that it's crossed on to close before it places the trade. If it's on a 1-minute time frame, it will wait for the following 1-minute candle. It will always take the trade at the beginning of the following candle. So with Tekton, you can run a strategy for as long as you want. You can set the time period you want it to run. You can set it to run 24 hours a day if you wish. You can set it to run just for a specific period of the day, so between 9 and 5. And any trades that set up outside of those hours, it won't trade. You can use this to save swap charges. You can use this to just control when it takes trade, so it doesn't trade overnight when liquidity could be lower. You can check the time period because it will say, give you the ability to check and say what time period you want it to trade. No trades between 9 AM and 8 PM, for example. Personally, I let them run 24 hours a day. You can stop your strategy whenever you want. So you just simply click stop trading, and that will stop your trading strategy from triggering or executing any more positions until you say otherwise. Anything that's running live in the market, however, will need to be closed manually by yourself or let to run to stop loss or target. It is totally flexible. And that really, guys, is how to think about a strategy, create a blueprint, build it, test it, edit it wherever necessary, and trade it live. Let me now show you how to start trading using Tekton now. Okay, so you've edited your strategy and you've done subsequent back tests, and you're not really happy about the results. And there's one here that's as you can see, drew down by 2,500 pips in the 2 years, so not really that successful. So once you've done a series of back tests and you're wanting to run something live, you simply start trading. Now obviously, if you've done several back tests, you can look at your history here and choose which one you want to use, and clearly you can see the ones we want to use is this one here. Okay, we want to choose which one you want to use, and clearly you can see the ones we want to use is this one here. Okay, we want to use that. So we want to use the settings on this one to get ourselves going. So what we need to do is we need to just simply make sure we go back to our previous settings. So 50 crosses the 100. So we go back to edit and step back to our previous setting. EMA, and click update, confirm, edit that back again to 100, EMA, apply, update, confirm. It was 20 and 50, and euro dollar 30-minute. Now of course, if you find one that's successful, you can always duplicate it. So let's just save that again. Okay, you can always duplicate this strategy by simply going to your back screen and going to your entry screen, okay, here, and duplicate it. So it will give you a copy of your strategy that you can work on. Okay, it'll give you a copy of it that you can work on while you're actually re-editing this one here. So let's go back into it. We've got it here ready. We want to now start to set this one to run live, and it couldn't be simpler. Click start trading, and we have two options. We can either set specific hours or allow all-time trading. So remember, this system will allow you to control what times of day your strategy is open. So your trades will only open between a certain period, even if the conditions are met 24 hours a day. Useful if you only want to monitor it during the day. If you want to use the strategy drawdown on take profit here to limit how long the strategy runs overall, you can use this. More on this feature on our risk management webinar coming up. So we're going to allow overnight trading, which means it will run 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, and click start trading. Once that's clicked start trading, our strategy will appear here as running. Notice our little window here has changed from draft to running, and now if I try to edit the strategy, it won't let me because it's actually running live. So I'm going to cancel that. Now if I want to view it, I can view it here. I can view the status of the strategy at any one time. I can see the algorithm. I can see any descriptions I've put in, and here I can see any trades that's been taken. I can see the test history of this strategy. I can see the trade history of this strategy. Tekton really couldn't be simpler. Once you've set something to run live, you let it run live, and it will continue to trade until your strategy drawdown or strategy take profit have been hit. Now if you want to stop this one at any one time, all you do is you click stop trading, and this will switch your strategy off, switch your algorithm off, so it won't actually take any more trades once you've clicked stop trading. It will continue to run if there's an open trade, but it will not take any more trades on your strategy until you click stop trading. And if you've really got a good one and you've really got a great strategy, you can click export here, copy that, the code which is unique to the strategy, copy it and send it to somebody else, and they can then import that strategy into their own version of Tekton using this function here. Tekton really couldn't be simpler. Okay guys, so we're back live now. I hope that you got plenty of valuable information from that webinar. We've got a handful of questions that were posed while we was watching that. So the first question is, can I test specific hours? That's from Andrew. I think Andrew, you're in Dublin. At the moment, you can't test specific hours. When you're back testing, what you can do is you can set the parameters on back testing to specific dates ranges, i.e. all data. So that goes back to the beginning of 2017 up till today's date. Or you can pick specific date ranges. So one day to the next, 1 week to the next. You've got a little calendar that you can pick dates, but you can't test for specific hours. You can trade specific hours, but the testing for specific hours will be something that we'll look at being introduced at some point in the future, which will give you the ability to test specific hours for a trading strategy. I've got a message here from, I can't really pronounce it, I think it's in Africa, in South Africa. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. You're new to trading and you want to get using our product. You like the product, you like the look of it. Yeah, so the best advice I can give you, my friend, is if you are new and you're new to trading, then I would refer you to the Trading for Beginners course that will be on our forum. We're just waiting for them to run live and go live. They will be live hopefully from next week at the latest, and you can click those. It's a comprehensive workshop in bite-sized chunks for a beginner, so they can actually look at that, watch what a pip is, and get themselves up to speed. So get themselves up to speed, so they will then be in a position to be able to then use Tekton. And again, remember, Tekton is free to use, and you can then use Tekton moving forward once you've got yourself the demo and live accounts organized. So it's called Trading for Beginners. It's a very comprehensive workshop that I put together, but it's in bite-sized chunks. So you can watch a section for a few minutes, then watch another one, etc., etc., and you can go back and review. There's a few little tests going through it as well to test what you've learned and how you've understood, etc. So yes, for new people, that's what I would, new traders, that's what I'd recommend without a shadow of a doubt. I've got another question here. I've been trading for a while, and I want to get some time with somebody that's going to help me on a one-to-one basis. So one of the other things we're doing as well is I'm actually available for one-to-one sessions. So if you want to do a one-to-one with me on Skype or on a call, that is available. That's available also in the same section as the Trading for Beginners. It's called one-to-one courses or one-to-one workshops. And I'm actually booked up this week and most of next week at the moment with one-to-one sessions that I'm doing. And for some of you know that I do go to South Africa quite a bit, and I'm actually coaching some South African delegates right now and graduates right now, one-to-one. So I've got quite a few sessions this week. Not very many. I've got no slots available this week, and just a handful for next week. But if you want a one-to-one session with me, you can book that via the one-to-one sessions on the forum, and I'm available, I believe, from the week after next. Quite open. I think that's the last week in May. I've got some availability quite a bit at the moment, but that's filling up. What I'm finding is people in lockdown and people are being at home, they're wanting more and more sort of one-to-one time. So I spent a lot of time on Skype this last few weeks coaching people, and I can view your screen, you can share your screen with me, and I can point you in the right direction and teach you online. So it's another really good way of getting some one-to-one personal time. Got a message here from Andrew. I think this is Andrew again from Dublin. What's a good size for a trading account and how much risk should I take? Fantastic question. It's a sort of $1 million question, and I'm not saying $1 million in your account, but it's $1 million question. And my answer to it is, and I'm not being funny and sarcastic, but it's how long is a piece of string? What I would say to you is that the more you invest into a trading account, the more money you will be looking to make moving forward. Of course, some people say to me, yeah, but the more money I put in, the more money I could lose. Well, that is true, but risk management is something that I'm going to cover on another webinar in full detail, how risk and reward management can really help you moving forward in becoming a much better and much more all-round trader. So to start with, to answer your question, what is a good size for a trading account? Also, it depends on the area you live in, the location. Now, we've got people from all over the world watching this. Some people fall under the UK and Europe. Some people fall under the worldwide regulations, and Australia regulations. And leverage, without confusing people, leverage is what's being offered to you from your broker as far as how much money you're trading, that you have in your money you have in your account can actually trade on the real market. So leverage in the UK is a lot lower than it is elsewhere. So in the UK, you do need a little bit more money to put into your account. So to start with, you're looking 2,000-3,000 euros or pounds is probably a good place to start. But I'd look at more often than not. If you're looking at some people would put 100,000 in once they become comfortable, and if you're making 3 or 4% a month, that's 3,000 or 4,000 pounds or euros a month. So it's all relative to the size of the money you put into your account. But remember, your risk management is important, and that is the second part of Andrew's question: how much risk should I take? Now, depending on leverage, some of you will be able to have 3 or 4 or 5 systems, algorithmic systems running at once. So you'd have 4 or 5 strategies all running at once. And if you've got something like South Africa or the other parts of the world which cover the world under worldwide regulations where the leverage is quite high, you'll find you'll be able to do that. You'll have 3 or 4 trading strategies running, no problem. But in the UK, because leverage is lower, because it was changed by the regulators a couple of years ago, then you will find that you might not get so many trading strategies running. So I would safely say no more, you don't want any more risk than 0.25, 0.5, maybe no more than 1% risk on an individual strategy. So that would mean that, I would look at if you want to run 2 or 3 of those systems, then make sure you're looking at maybe 0.5 to 1% of your account per strategy. Now, there is a risk management video, and there is a section on risk management that's I'm going to do on a webinar as well. So I'm going to show you how to risk manage, and there will be risk management calculators within Tekton moving forward as well to get your CFD sizing correct. So risk management is something you need to get right, and I'll happily help you. If you want to jump on a Skype call with me, not a problem. I can help you with that individually. That's all you've got to do is send us a live chat on the forum, or you can send an email to, and the email address is theteam@poweredbytekton.com. theteam@poweredbytekton.com. Okay, so let's see if we've got any more questions here. I've got 2 more questions here. You showed us how to use Tekton, your trading software, and it looked very, very simple. How can I make it simple for me? Well, Paul, let me give you the best answer to that I can possibly give you is do it. Just do it. I know that's a Nike slogan, but just do it. You won't be, you won't get any better or more comfortable with something unless you do it. Just sitting there with the account and open and just looking at it, it won't help you. If you're struggling, get on a live chat with us. We'll help you. We've got a support team that can help you. If you really are somebody that wants one-to-one time, then jump on a call with myself or one of our other guys, and we'll help you with that. We can do that on Skype while you're at home. Time is of the essence. So if you feel that, you need help like that, that's fine. I fully understand that. And you will become proficient at this. On another webinar, I've got a really good, a real live case study of somebody that was a complete beginner and is now building their own algos, and that took place within a couple of days, and building successful algos as well. And I'll share that story with you on a subsequent webinar. But yeah, so to answer your question, it will become more simple, but we're finding a lot of people are opening up a demo account. They're getting so far, they're creating an algo, they're testing, and then it comes to actually taking it further, i.e. getting it to run live, and they don't. And that's probably because of many different reasons. A bit of fear, maybe. Don't worry, we're here to help you. Not sure what to do, we're here to help you. Or maybe just a little bit of apprehension, what do I do now? Again, we are here to help you. We've created the platform for people to come away from having emotional fears about trading. Yet don't let the emotional fears prevent you from using Tekton. It is a really, really cool piece of kit. I wouldn't have put my name to this and created this if I didn't think it was the powerful thing it really is. Okay, so we have one final question, and that is, will we be doing live training courses and meetings and stuff? Well, guys, at the moment, unfortunately, as some of you are aware, I do travel the world teaching people, and I have unfortunately been grounded, which means I can spend more time at home with my lovely wife and family. But at the end of the day, for me, I've been grounded and I can't fly anywhere in the world, and it's looking like for the rest of this year. So yes, we will be doing workshops. We will be doing training courses. It's my aim to start doing some live trading days with people, to optimization of algo trading days. But right now we are restricted to doing these online. So if you are somebody that wants to really crack on with this, then the online portal, our forum, our community is all where you're going to get the best of this information right now, and get the best of what we are able to offer you. So there's workshops on there, there's free stuff, there's stuff you have to pay for if you want it, because at the end of the day, lots of education over the years I've created over the years is from a lifetime or a long time of experience. I actually costed myself lots of education in my early days as a trader, and I spent a lot of money on that. So, there's free stuff for you to get a hold of. There's also stuff that you can pay for to get a hold of, and there's lots of things that we are doing in the background to help anybody that wants to use Tekton moving forward. So the answer to the question is yes, we're going to be doing updates every day on the forum. So there's going to be something new every day, and there'll be a webinar every week. And if there's something specifically that you want in this webinar moving forward, please feel free. I'm not doing these for my benefit. They're being done for all of your benefit. And I'm really grateful for the attendees that we've had today. We've had a really good turnout. It's really good to see from all over the world. I won't go on too much more because I know Australia, it's getting very close to 2 o'clock in the morning. So thank you guys out in Australia. Thank you guys in Africa and the rest of Europe and UK. I think we've got one person from America as well watching. So that's fantastic. I really hope you've had value today. And we'll put the recording of this webinar up on the forum in the next 24 hours or so. And I look forward to seeing you all next week, where we're going to talk a little bit about winning strategies. So next week's webinar is winning strategies, how to create a winning strategy, what to look for. We've created a strategy. Now let's look at the back testing results. Let's look at how we can adapt those to get it to be a winning strategy, and how we can look at reward to risk and other factors on that. So it's one not to be missed. And I look forward to being there and spending the time with you once again. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week, one and all, and bye for now.